So have you done any examples?
Uh,
Have you got any questions? Have you got any questions?
no,
Hmm?
no from me.
I think they have also given some certification also regarding this Hibernate.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, fine. Let's move on to all these things. One, two, table, class, inheritance. Yeah, I forgot. I prepared some document. Yeah. So we discussed about entity, right? Entity annotation.
Yeah, we just used it. We haven't discussed it. We just used the entity and ID. Uh,
Entity and ID, both.
uh, yeah, we have used them, but we haven't discussed them.
Yeah, discussion. What's there in discussion? So we'll see what is entity and what is. So since we are using JPA, so which is provided in J2EE API, so we have gone through this API, and here you will find javax.persistence, right? Persistence SPI. Remember this. So javax.persistence. This is enough. There are our classes entity. Yeah, entity. So let's go to this entity annotation, and this entity annotation has only name as an attribute. So, okay. So name is nothing but name of the entity. We can give some dummy name, whatever we need. Okay. So that is entity. So why we need to use entity? Why we are keeping an entity in a Java bean? So what is the reason is, so we are telling JPA to associate. So what we are doing, we are telling JPA to associate our Java bean to a database table. Okay. So we want to associate our Java bean to a database table. So if you want to associate means, so simply like specifies that the class is an entity. We haven't given much documentation regarding this. Suppose if we want to specify our Java bean to act as a table in database, it is acting, right? So our Java bean, and what is our Java bean? Our Java bean is employee, right? So our Java bean is an employee. So it is acting like, so it acts like a database table, right? So employee ID, so employee name, employee address. So let's go for this also. Okay, so for that purpose, we have to say that our Java bean should associate with table, right? So for that purpose, we should use entity. So if you are using a Java bean per table, you should use entity. So and make a habit every time to implement your Pojo with serialization. Serializable interface. Why serializable interface? Anyone knows what is serialization?
No.
Okay, let's not dig into it, but you have to learn serialization.
I think to move one object to another object through net, right? Web.
Wonderful, wonderful, Raju. So that is the answer. So how the real world will be means. So here in my mission, database server is in my mission, and the execution program execution is in my mission, and every component is in single mission. In real world, it won't happen like that. So database server will be in different mission, and our application server means our application will be in different server. So server to server communication, net. Through net, it is communicating, right? So whenever you want to communicate between some two different resources. So let's call this server as resource. Two different resources, then we should use serialization, because we might. So if we won't use serialization, there are some cases. So which in real time I faced those issues. So there is a Java bean. So Java bean, as you know, Java bean is this one, right? Okay, employee address and everything. So in some scenarios, I got a lakhs of records. Okay, every record should have employee ID, employee name, and employee address. But in if I didn't serialize that object, so in some employee objects, lakhs of record, in some employee objects, I missed employee address, I missed employee name. In some scenarios, I also missed employee ID. So whenever I want to print all the data, I missed employee ID also. Right? So for that purpose, so this serializable interface, if you implement this serializable interface, what is serialization means? So object. So how to describe you? Okay, fine. So let's make it serializable as must. It's a rule. Let's think of that, but because you won't get to understand at this point. So when time permits, so when time comes, I will explain you what is serializable in real time. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So now let's come to ID. What is ID? Let's go to ID annotation. It's just ID. It's not having any for primary key. I think you are not having any attributes. But whereas in entity, you have an attribute called name. Okay, you can specify any name. ID, you are not having anything. So there is one more. So one more thing, one more annotation is there, like table. What is this table? Let's go. What is this table? So all these are annotations. So we'll come across most of annotations. Okay. So not all the annotations. We'll come across most of annotations which are used. Okay. Fine. So table. So what is this table? Table has name, catalog, schema, unique constraints. Oh, unique constraints is a very important thing. Okay, fine. Schema, name of the table. So if you give a name of the table, okay, name means name of the table, the schema of the table. It's an optional parameter, guys. If you see, it's an optional parameter. So the annotation specifies the primary table for the annotated entity. Additional tables may be specified. Yeah, secondary tables annotation, secondary tables annotation. Okay, fine. So there is one more concept called secondary tables. One class can have two tables. So we can, if we so like customer here, right? So if you have two entities like customer and customer details, okay, we can insert those customer details. So let's take. I'll show you a real-time example. I will show you the example also. What is table? Why we need to use table? When we should use table? Okay, I will say that example. So when we should use table means, so if you want to specify a, so it is a default. As of now, you think of like this, right? So in database, what is the table name? It has created employee. Whatever you have, your entity name is there, it has created like that. As of now, you remember only this. Okay. Info. If you make like this means, so it will create an employee info table. Okay. So I am naming the table as employee info. So it will create like that. So let's have a test. Work or not. Session already closed. So don't bother about these exceptions. So we have to bother about these exceptions. Guys, you just make me remind me session already closed exception. Okay. So we'll discuss later. Let's refresh this one. See, you got employee table, right? Employee info as a table name. Suppose if you want to specify a your own table name means you can do all these things. Okay. So you can also write like this underscore. If you run that one, you will get what you will get. What is your assumption? Employee underscore info. Okay, right. Right. Now let's come to column. So column is same as table, as I said now. Okay. So suppose if I want to column, see how many attributes are there. Let's go and dig into it. What is column? There are many attributes, right? So let's go and dig. Okay. See, he has also given some example. If you go through documentation, is used to specify a mapped column for persistent property or field. If no column annotation is specified, default values are applied. Okay, if no column annotation is specified, default values are applied. What is the default value? So let's see what is the default value of all these things. But previously I didn't annotated with column name, column annotation for this employee ID, employee name and employee address. So what it taken default value name as, there will be a default value name, right? So name as the property name. So see, if you see employee ID, okay, employee address, employee name. Okay, right. So what he is saying means, if you specify a name to it, So the same name will reflect in the database also. Let's try and nullable, whether it is null or not. Okay, we'll check that. So insertable length, how much length it should be having. Okay, so by default values, how it is having. Open means, so what is the length? 11. Default value of int is 11. It is directly taken. Default value of string is 255. So what happens if we give beyond 255? So you need to test that. Okay, so it will give some exception. Okay, you try that example. Okay, what scale table? Okay, and this table will come in secondary tables. It seems unique. Okay, updatable. Right. So what is the default value of this thing? It's empty. Okay, fine. Empty means it will directly uses the property, entity property. Property in the sense field, this one, as a name. Okay, default value of unique is false. If you make it as true means that that key should be unique. So if you insert one more record with the same value, it won't be inserted. Okay, so unique value across the table. Right. See, if you study whether the property is unique, the shortcut of unique construct annotation, blah blah. You can nullable. Default is true. Okay, so default is true means nullable means what is nullable? Nullable means suppose if I give this as null. Okay, none of the record here. I mean, so none of the record should be null here. So none of the column should be null. So not none of the column. So employee name column should not be null. Okay, let's try once. He said by default, right? I think it is executed. Employee name as null. Why he has given null? Default is true. Nullable. So if you see the name nullable, it's a negative meaning, right? Okay. If you make this nullable as false, then you will get exception. Okay, I'll show you insertable, all the things. Okay, fine. Let's try this nullable kind of thing. So let's give a column name as nullable. It should not be null because it is an ID. Okay, length. Let's give as 3 now. Okay, fine. Decision not needed. Okay, fine. These are enough for IDs. Okay, let's go for column name. Let's give name as length as 5. We'll test what will happen if you give across 5. Okay, fine. Nullable, false. Okay, it should not be null. The meaning itself. Okay, fine. Next, unique. What is unique? True. What is unique? Unique is okay. Boolean value. Okay, we'll give the same as address also. Address will make it as 10. Okay, this is my table. Okay, fine. Now let's drop the table. So I mean, I'm commenting this one means I want to drop the table and create again. Okay. So what happens? So let's give the valid variable. So let's see what happened in the background. See, if you see the table column names has been changed, right? So if you see the alter table, I think for int it is taking default value as 11. Okay, I think we need to take it as short, right? Short or byte. We cannot change to byte. Why? What is byte value? Let's not go to byte. Short. What is this? So can't we insert short value also? Okay. I think we need to insert this one. Let's make it as byte only. We'll take byte only. So we'll okay. Now it is allowing. What is this here? So can't we convert int to byte? Any ideas? Let's not short. Let's use short. Again, what's happening, guys?
Return type is
Set I have set as short only. Can't we convert integer value to short?
no.
Type conversion also we need to give, it seems. Let's give byte value. So that's why core Java is very important. Okay. So we will find these things. Let's try this example. So what we are giving? So we are giving 10. So I want the size as 3, right? So I should see here 3 value. Okay, let's see what it will do internally. Okay. Still no effect. Yeah, if you see here, the tiny int, it has taken as tiny int. So for every primary key, I think for every primary key, it is taking as tiny int. Okay, let's not give a primary key. Let's take some other value.
No, maybe short is taking it as tiny int.
No. It is my assumption is, so what is my assumption is, by default database is taking its default value, so its minimum value, right?
Yeah.
If it is a primary key, so let's check one more thing, so that we can crack what is it. Okay, right? So I'll make use of this one. I think this will help us for understanding, deep understanding, right? So guys, you need to practice in such a way like this. Okay, right? So here in the documentation what he has given, so you can also specify length to it. Okay, so length to it, okay. Common length. Yeah. See here, he has directly given. We didn't go through this documentation. Applies only if a string valued column is used. Not for the integer, not for the number kind of thing, right? Fine, my mistake. We need to follow this documentation. No need of all this salary testing and everything, right? So now, so if you see here, this is a string value, right? 5 and 10. So you are getting 5 and 10. Okay. For that purpose, we will use column attribute, column annotation. So if you annotated a property with column and these attributes, so these you will call as attributes in technical word. You will call it as attributes. Attribute name and attribute value. Okay, attribute value string and attribute value boolean and number. Okay, let's. Okay, so for we discuss table entity. So table column is finished. What is this temporal? So let's go to the temporal annotation. So annotation must be specified for persistent fields property of type date and calendar. See, date. Suppose, so I have some requirement like I need to have a column name as create time also, create date, create time and create date also. Then how can you view? Okay, let's see. Private, he said that date. What is this date? Is it util.date? Okay, fine. So see, it is a util.date, right? So let's util.date. Created date. Created time. You make it as what he has given. So temporal and value. What is this temporal type? Okay. So date and timestamp. So what is difference between date and timestamp? Any ideas?
Date is only MMDDYY format, but timestamp is complete hours to minutes and seconds.
Yeah, but in Java, if you print date object means it will give entire thing. So whereas coming to database, I am thinking like that. let's verify whether it is doing the same thing or not. What is this? Okay, by default it is taking as that thing. I think it is not having any attribute, it seems. Okay, direct value. So see here example you can give like this. He has also given the example. Okay. Let's take temporal timestamp. Okay. Create a setter and so you try an example like this. Okay. What happens if you didn't give any setter method? What happens? It is a common thing only, right? You can't set value. Mistake. Okay. Right. Employee dot set created date. We'll take new date. So we'll create a date object here. We'll pass the date object for two fields. Create a type. So let's see what will happen. Wow. See, as expected, as you said, okay, YYY, MM and DD, okay, and created time also. Created time means we have specified here timestamp, right? In the temporal we have specified timestamp. So it is printing, it is creating an entire time. Let's see what is the database data types it's using. What is this? So I may not be seeing employee.
I guess it is employee underscore info.
Yeah. See, if you see, it is taking date data type in MySQL. Okay, date time data type in for timestamp. If you want to insert with the timestamp with the time, so you can use date time in creation of database level table. So if you want to insert only the string MMDD and so date, month and year means it is taking date data type. So there is one more data type called timestamp also. If you see here, you will find all the available data types for MySQL. So this tool is used for MySQL. Okay, so that's why it is showing all the data types. So big int, binary, okay, bit, blob, bool, boolean, char, date. So when should you use char? So char means only single character, yes or no, right? So then in that case you need to use char. Okay, fine. Date and date time, decimal, double you already know, enum. Okay, database level enum also is there. If you check here, so database also is having a type of enum. Okay, let's float, int, blob int, okay, real, set, small int. Okay, when this small int will come, we need to check it. Okay, time. If you want to give only time means, so time is also the timestamp. Entire time will be coming. Okay, entire time you can save in database. Okay, right. So let's come back. So temporal is finished. So there is one more this thing, data time, and what is the one more type? date, time, timestamp. Suppose if I want to insert only time means, so we can use time. Okay. Time. Transient. What is this transient? It's a core Java level keyword. What is this transient? Any ideas?
If you make anything as transient, it cannot be serialized further.
Wonderful. Correct answer. It cannot be serialized and it cannot be stored. You can also say one more thing in persistence, like it cannot be stored. Okay, you try around that annotation. So we missed this one, right? What happens if you give more than 5 value? What happens if you pass null to it? Okay, let's see if you will pass null to it. Or else will you try all these things? Shall I continue for the next thing? Next annotation. Will you try?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You try these things. What happens if you give more than five characters? Because we have specified the length as 5. What happens if you give 6? Okay, employee ID as so 3, right? So what happens if you give 4-digit value? Okay, let's try those examples. Okay, we'll go to, we can discuss in such a way. We can discuss a lot of annotation. So what is this generated value? Okay, so generated value. Let's go. What is this generated value? Okay, time. Sequence. So it is used on the super of. It will be used only under ID value. Okay, generated value. Generated value means sequence. Auto incrementation. Right, you are aware of it, right? Auto incrementation. If you give generated value, this tick mark should come. So now it is unchecked. So this will be checked if you give generated value. So let's see whether it will come or not. So for generated value, you have some strategies also. What is the document? Okay. So strategy, auto, identity, sequence, table, and everything is there. But in MySQL's perspective, you can specify auto. So generator. So I will say you what is this generator attribute whenever we discussed with secondary table. Not secondary table. Generator. Table generator. Okay. Yeah. I need to discuss. So this is very important, guys. So generated value, generator, and table generator annotation. Why we should use table generator in real time? I will say. So let's see whether generated value is working or not. So how to give? So don't specify this one. So internally this will be specifying. So previously it is having what it is having 100, right? So let's see now what it is having. What is this? Unrecognized ID byte to lang byte. Okay, unrecognized ID byte to long byte. Okay, fine. I think we need to give ID only. Wrapper classes. Let's give wrapper class. So sometimes we will get this kind of exception. Okay. So now I got this kind of exception. I don't know why it got. Okay. How to do workaround. Okay. How to resolve this issue? Means it is saying that unrecognized ID type byte to lang byte. So what is this byte? This is a primitive data type. And what is this one? This is a wrapper class. So my assumption is, because I am specifying a primitive data type, if I specify wrapper class, it should work. My assumption. Even though if it is not working, then I need to work around for different way. Okay, let's see whether it is working. See, again I got exception. Okay. Unrecognized type byte to ID. Okay, right. Let's take integer. What happened here? Whether is it working? Drop the table. Next. What is again? Let's remove this one. So I'm doing workaround to resolve this exception. Okay. So first of all I tried giving byte object. It is not taking. So now I have specified integer object. Let's see whether it will take or not. Okay, in the real time we will do like this only, the same. Why it is not deleting? So it is stopped here. Whether any locks are there? I think no locks are there. Okay. Let's not bother about it. We'll drop it's like this. Wow. Okay, I think some locks are there for this table. So internally database is maintaining some locks. So see, if you see from tool also it is taking much time. Right? Let's do in where is it? Where is it here? Wonderful here. So database itself is maintaining some locks. We observe here. I think you can delete employee. Okay. So you can delete employee info, but it is not allowing to delete employee underscore info. Something happened in database level. So we need to dig it. Not we, I will dig it and I will say what happened. Okay. Tomorrow I will say what happened. So let's not try this. Yeah, I did it. Same thing. Why we got the same thing? Same exception. We should not get right. We have changed it to byte. So let's right click here and try one more time. Unknown table. Okay, no tables are there. I think this one also will come. Okay, fine. Right click like this. Wonderful. What is it? Whether it is created or not. Yes, it's created. Alter the table. Fine. And open table. Fine. See, if you see here, so why we used generated value? Okay, we have not inserted any employee ID here. So database, suppose if we run this program again, so I'm commenting this one. So because I should not drop this table and create again. Okay, if we run this program again, what will happen? Let's see. You should get a second record with 2, my assumption. Okay, let's see whether we are getting it with 2 or not. What is this? Isn't there any execute query? That's right. What is it? Why is it behaving like this? Let's give 111. Yeah, data. See, your example I did. Okay, data is too long. Okay, let's not give. Five, right? Okay, fine. Okay, let's refresh this one. Why is it behaving like this? Why it is deleting the old record? It should not delete, right? It should create a new one. Why is it doing?
Maybe it is regarding the update variable that I have yesterday specified using in the configuration XML.
Let's see what is this update. You are saying some update.
Yes,
Drop and recreates database schema on startup. What is this?
Yes. No, that's if it is a create one. If it is an update one, it will just add it to the existing data.
Let's try your. Duplicate it. Yeah. This one, right? You should take off this unique. So you try these examples. What will happen if you keep unique? Duplicate. Fine. I understood. So we need to delete this one because table is already created with. See, if you see here, so we are not bothering about Oracle. Let's delete this. If you see here, alter table, null, not null. So table is already created. Okay, we are going to insert the data. Our employee name and employee address is table is already created. So that's why we got duplicate entry XYZ. Now it will work because So I uncommented this one, right? Schema export. Now it will create. It will drop the table and it should insert the record. Let's check whether the table. Why is it not behaving? Nullable false. Okay, fine. Nullable false. Unique constraint not is, it's not there, right? Unique. Let's see whether it is inserted or not. Yes, it's inserted. So now try for why is behaving like this? Any ideas? What is this update and what is this update? What are the parameters? So I think it's related to schema. So now we got exception, guys. So we need to resolve what is this. So we need to check what went wrong. Date. So they haven't given anything called this one. All classes. So nothing is there. Okay, fine. My assumption is this one. Auto is not accepting in MySQL. Let's give some value as sequence. Sequence means it should take, you should give some generated key. Table generator name, the same name. So I'm discussing what is this table generator. Okay, now let's try what is this table generator. So this is very important, guys. So in real time, I have seen some projects as using table generator annotation also. Okay, let's see what is table generator. So we'll figure out what happened there also. So what happens here means, so in table generator, what will be happening means, so let's see this example. So strategy, if you give sequence, so generator, if you use ID, so the same ID need to be here also. The name, whatever you have specified here, it need to be same here. Okay, and the table. So database, so if you run this this example, it will create one more table called employee table, EMP table. Okay, or else you can give EMP PK table, primary key table. Okay, so employee primary key table and employee column name, primary key column name as employee key, EMP key, and column value. I will show you how this executes. So let's try whether I didn't try it. We'll try it. What is this? So, table. Employee primary key table, PK name as MP key and PK column value EMP value. Okay, right. Everything is perfect. Now let's see whether what will be happening here. Let's delete this table. So we are not having any tables here. So now let's see. MySQL dialect does not support sequence. What happened? Here we structure what will happen if, what is this generated value documentation sequence? Okay, generated strategy table. What will happen if we do table? What is table? Indicates the persistence provided must assign a primary key underlying database table. Sequence not is the sequence. I think we need to give table here, not sequence, table. Wonderful, wonderful. We got successful execution. See, so it has directly created a secondary table. What is this secondary table? Contains integer and character. Okay, open this table. So employee key and incremented value. Okay, incremented value. Open this table. So run this program one more time. Two ifs there. What is this here? Something messed up. Okay, this is the thing if we use. So we need to go through documentation or any books to follow these things. So the frameworks will behave like it is very simple. So yesterday I thought Hibernate is very simple without referring also. I can say I can say examples to you. I thought in like that way. Okay, but now here in real time, so here it should get 2, right? In our assumption, because the value in this table is 2, you should get 2, but it is giving 50. Why it is giving 50? Okay, so I need to refer once again this Hibernate, how it is behaving. So the same thing. So from starting onwards, I am saying, so frameworks are nothing but just a configuration thing. So we need to configure something. So we need to do, so configuration in the sense, what I mean to say is, so this configuration, we need to give annotated with entity, we need to annotate it with table if you want something. If we know those things, that is enough. Every framework behaves the same way. Okay, if you give the column means your column name will be created. So like that. So every frameworks, even struts also. So only we are giving here we are giving Hibernate CFG configuration file, right? Hibernate CFG.xml. In struts also you will have some configuration file. I think it's struts config.xml or something. Okay, we'll see whenever we are discussing struts also. So in Spring also, Spring context file is there, application context or whatever name you can give. So Spring XML file also will be there. We need to load that XML and this thing. So while developing a framework, they will perform some set of rules. So if we follow those rules, our program will be executed plain. So if you are not following those rules, so our program will become like this. Okay. So we expected some other data, but the expected value is 50. So we expected 2. Auto incremented value is 2, but it is keeping 50. Why it is keeping? So in the real-time world, no one will take this as auto incremented value. If you see here, employee table, so no one will take like this. So auto incremented value. So database, so we should not give a chance to increment on itself in database level. I will calculate. So there will be some cluster concept and everything. I will explain you when time comes. Okay. In clustering, we will get some issues. If you give auto incremented value permission to database to increment the value for next record means what will happen? Okay. So here I am not giving the database to auto increment. I am telling create a table and take the next value from that table. Okay, it has created, fine. So the next value should be 2 or 3. Okay, but expected value is 2, but here unexpected value come. Okay, 50. It has taken 50. Why it has taken 50? Okay, we should. I will dig into it. What went wrong, and I will let you know. So we'll see. You should get. So it is giving 100. What is this 100? What happens if I give next record as 2? Try to insert that thing. Will it get 150 now? It should get 150. 150. Yeah, something happened here in database level. We need to configure something inside the secondary table, so the starting value or some kind of thing. Let's go and check the secondary table. Okay. Not secondary table, table generator, right? Table generator. Okay, allocation size. What is this allocation size? See here, allocation size. We need to specify allocation size. It's 50, right? Fine. Now we got. we need to give in table generator, we also need to specify allocation size as 1. What is this allocation size as 1?
So allocation size is a starting.
Yeah, that no, not starting. The amount to increment by when the allocated ID numbers for the generator. So suppose in starting I kept 100. So value as I inserted value as 100. So the second record should be 1 or 2, not the value 2. It should be 1 or 2. So its assumption is like that. Let's try this example one more time. 100. We'll give 100 as starting record. Okay, creating the schema also we need to give for first time running. Wonderful. Take this one. I think this tool is not behaving. Wow, what is this here? Okay, good. It is created with value 1. 1. Why 1? Okay, I think in database level only it is incrementing. So it is not bothering about this value what we have specified. Let's see. So it is 2. The next value should come as 2, right? So let's check whether it is coming as 2 or not. Let's comment out this one. Okay, right. So next value should become 3. See, 2. Have you observed any changes? So you need to specify. You need to specify this allocation size also for it. Okay, because the default value is 50, so it will increase 50, 50, 50. Now the third record should come. Third, right? The same. Okay. Now you understood what is table generator. So not table generator. Now you understood why we need to follow set of rules. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. We should follow some set of rules. Framework is nothing, guys. So as I expected, I am able to do now itself, right? So I have verified this documentation. Previously, I am unable to show you what the expected thing, right? So if I verify this documentation, I am able to do that. So we need to follow some set of rules. We need to give this constraint. So if you follow this rule, your program will be executed as expected. If not, it will be unexpected. Okay. In the same way, in such a way, you need to follow this documentation very clearly. Okay. Initial size. What is this initial size? Okay. Initial size is 0. Okay. You try it. What is initial size? Initial value. I think initial value
Set
is
the value 100 there.
Yeah. The same thing I am expecting. You try it on your own. Okay. What is this unique constraints? If you are able to do unique constraints, you try it. We'll discuss tomorrow anyhow. So unique constraints also. So today I have thought of saying you all these things also. These are very important. So I used in my project. I remembered and I copy pasted those things, those annotations, and I'm explaining you guys. So not all the annotations, whatever in real time we have used, I'm explaining you all these things. Okay, secondary table we have used. Okay, so one class in two tables. What is this secondary table means? I will explain you now. So one class. So I will specify only one class, but I should get two tables. So like customer and customer details table should be there, but my POJA object will be only one. How to configure? I need to do that scenario. How to configure our POJA object? So like that. So two classes to one table, right? Are you assuming my view? So two classes into one table means like employee and employee details. I will take two classes. But whenever I insert those two objects, those two need to be persisted in only single table. Okay, how to do that? Okay, what is compound key? Okay, so here compound key. I will explain you tomorrow, guys. So because it's too late for me. Okay, so compound key is nothing but primary key. I want to make two keys as a primary key, unique keys. It should be unique, right? Primary key in the sense these things are primary key, right? Suppose if I want to make this x101 as primary key, so as compound key. Compound key means compound, both keys. So two or more keys. So you can make it as compound. Once again, if I insert with the same value, means x101 as employee ID. If I insert, you will get a unique key constraint exception, right? Because data is already duplicate. I mean duplicate entry. Because data is already existed with compound key. Okay, like that. I will explain you. We'll discuss this thing. So any doubts so far? Like we discussed entity, table generator. These are very important. You just try this one and refer this documentation. Never follow any tutorials, guys. Until I said to follow tutorial. Okay, never follow any tutorial. Not now. I will say when to follow tutorial. So once we discussed all the annotation which I know, okay, then you follow tutorial. Okay, fine. So any doubts today's session on Hibernate?
No.
I'll try the.
I will let you know what is this property, Bipin. You asked this property. You are saying some
Sure.
create and update, right?
Because since yesterday we have started using the create and update thing that previously it was update.
Yeah, I remembered this property, but I am not able to remember the theory behind this. What happens if you give create? What happens is if you give update? So what are apart from create and update? Is there any one more value? I forgot it. Let's see this one. Okay, fine. So any more doubts? Okay, so guys, have you installed any databases in your missions?
I have MySQL on my system.
So just let's install Oracle also and try this example. Fine. Okay. Okay. Install. It's a free version. Oracle. I think
11G.
Not 11G. What I installed. I think it's Oracle 12G. 12XE. 11XE. Eh? So you search on net. You will get whether I got 64-bit also. So you search on net and try to integrate your Oracle. Try to install your Oracle on your own. Okay. If you are interested in one more database, so one more database in the sense I said one example, right? So this bipin.xml is pointing to Oracle database. You can use one more another database apart from Oracle, Postgres or Derby. DB2 or there are many database, open source database. You try to install those database and try this example. Okay, multiple how to communicate with multiple things. So one missing topic is I need to say this session factory, session, what is session and what is configuration. I think we already discussed, right?
Yeah, sessions we have discussed.
Yeah, we discussed it, right? So how this session will happen? What is this entity? So we didn't discuss it, the life cycle of entity. Okay,
yes.
Life cycle of session. How to manage session? How to manage transactions? Okay, we'll discuss. Okay, after completion of all these annotations. So there are some more annotations. I will refer today the documentation, and I will say, or else I will see in my project and I will say what are the annotations regularly used. Okay, so it is not required to know all these annotations. So there is one more annotation called pre-persist we have used. Okay, before persisting, what need to be done? Okay, I will say you. So what is pre-persist means? Nothing. In the same way, you will have pre-update. Okay, you won't have created time, you will have updated date also. So in the same way, you will have remove. Not I am not aware of destroy. No, not this one. You can do some operation here. Okay, give some SOP in here and try on your own what will happen. You check on your own. What will happen means, so no need to specify these two here. If you give pre-persist here means, so let's not bother about these two things. Okay, so pre-persist means okay, no need to set your values. Previously we used to set values here, right? Okay, no need to do these things. Pre-persist, pre-remove, pre-load, post-load, all these annotations. No need to worry about all these things. So whatever required only we will discuss. So we'll discuss associations also. One to one, one to many, many to one, many to many. So those are very much interested topics. So now you can try pre-persist now. As I already discussed, pre-persist we have discussed, right? Okay, you try those examples. So not all the annotations we will discuss. We will discuss some limited annotations which are used regularly used. Okay, guys. So any more doubts regarding these annotations? So far we have discussed temporal, column, and ID, generated value. I missed what is this generated value, right? So I will let you know tomorrow in tomorrow's session. Okay, table generator we have discussed perfectly. We have discussed what is table generator, but generated value, what is this generation type, we haven't discussed. We will discuss tomorrow. The temporal we discussed, column we discussed, table and entity we discussed. Okay, any more doubts?
No, from me.
Yeah, fine. Any who has joined today's? Raju?
No, sir.
Okay, Reva?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Fine. Bye, guys. We'll meet tomorrow session and we'll discuss lot of things tomorrow. I'll refer and I will let you know. Okay, bye, guys.